All right, everybody, welcome to the Studying Brew, episode 1234 on this beautiful St. Patty's Day. It is Tuesday. It is March 17th. It is 2026, and we're so happy to have all of you here on this 1234th episode. We have had 1234 episodes at the exact same time that you're on right now, since 2020. We're almost coming up on how many years is that? 26 years. We started on April 1st. April 1st. And after April, it'll never be the same. We have some changes coming to Studying Brew coming soon. We're going to talk about that. As we have already taken a lot of days off of the Studying Brew, now we only do it twice a week. I don't know what the full schedule of that's going to be moving forward on the free. But Brandy's like, we're gonna need to move this thing to an earlier time. So we're gonna move it all to an earlier time. We'll talk about it. We'll have lots of emails go out. I'm sure that everybody will ignore. But we'll have stuff on the Instagram, we'll have stuff on the Telegram, we'll have stuff on the Patreon, we'll have all these things everywhere to tell you guys what time, where we'll be. And hopefully we get more involvement, we get more people on, and we get more people who are willing to take part from the East Coast, as we always have a lot of people from the East Coast hit us up all the time, but 1 in the morning is a really long way to wait for the Studying Brew. So we are hoping that we can move this to an earlier time and see more of you. Yeah, because we got people in Connecticut, Florida, New York, Jersey, all over the East Coast, Detroit. I know a lot of people go, Detroit, Michigan is not in the East Coast, but it is in the Eastern time. But anyways, so that's what we're going to be doing. But I'm not just going to talk about that. Hey, we had a great weekend. We had a great boot camp on Saturday, or a workshop for some folks. I did a test taking techniques workshop for the people who showed up to our two boot camps that we had. We kind of kept this one under wraps just because we're still working it out. We're still working it out, and how we're going to do this whole boot camp thing. This is a new pivot for us as we do stuff in live and in person and going to people's offices and being able to do things in front of people and making that happen. So we worked it out. Workshop went good. Thank you for all that participated and were there. That was fun. One of the things that we were talking about, and one of the things we were zeroed in on is, we got a good email today. Some of you like to fast forward past this part. That's okay. You're going to miss a good one. We got a good email today on someone who was taking someone else's prep, and they were like, this is my whatever time with this thing, with this person, and for the Series 65, right? Yeah. And they were like, I scored 80s and 90s and on all my quizzes and everything. I don't understand what the heck's going on. And this relates to what's going on tonight. Test taking techniques Tuesday. This relates to test labs. This relates to who we are as Kona. This relates to the workshop. This relates to why our program's a little different. And to sum it all up on the response about this is, it's not the content that you have a problem with. Your 80s and 90% signifies that you are proficient in all knowledge concerning these exams. What is not happening or relating, or what's not going towards a pass notice on the exam, is that the fact is that you're having a disconnect with the techniques. You're having a disconnect with the questions. You're not following with the way they're presented. You're not following with the way you're seeing it. You're not seeing the questions for what they are, for whatever reason. You're not seeing those techniques work out, or you don't apply the techniques, or you're not having a strategy. You're going about it the same way every time. And then what happens is you get on those questions, and this person said it. They were like, 80% of this exam, it seems like I didn't even study for it. It's the way it's being presented to you, the strategy in which you're going at it, the way your techniques and everything are not aligning with how you need to attack this exam so you can get a pass notice. The big misconception for a lot of people is that they have to know everything in great detail. So they'll do stuff that's not in our program, because we don't do that. We teach keywords, we teach chains, we teach connections, we teach you how to pass an exam. It's not about the intricacies of how options work, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about math equations that are barely on the exam, right? As far as we know. And it's definitely not a math exam. And it's definitely not going to be tested the way those Q banks are set up to be. So why prepare you that way? So we don't do that. So they take these Q banks, they take these exams or whatever they do, and then they feel like I need to know more. I need to have more. I need knowledge more, more, more. But guys, as simple as it is, as plain as the day, it's not about the knowledge. It's not knowledge that gives you power. It's the applied knowledge. And if you're learning all this stuff and all this knowledge, and I talked to another person who was struggling as well, they're like, I know this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but you can't apply it. So it's all for fodder. You know what I mean? It's all for nothing, pretty much at this point. But at this stage, at this time, we have these test taking techniques, we have this free stuff, we have all this stuff that we have in our paid program, and Brandy does coach people. And as I was saying on Saturday in front of people, and I'm going to say this to you guys now, the problem is a lot of people sacrifice what needs to be done over convenience. They like the convenient. They don't always like to put in the hard work. They don't always like the coaching. They don't always like this is what you need to do. And they don't always like to hear it. And I'm going to take a page from Coach K. And if you don't know who Coach K is, he has won 5 gold medals for Team USA coaching for coaching basketball. Kobe Bryant, the greats, right? LeBron James, go on and on. Michael Jordan. Um, but he also won 5 national titles in college as well for Duke. I think he's the only one that's won back to back to back, if I'm not wrong, but I could be wrong. Um, but also he was also a coach under Bob Knight. He's all this great stuff about coaching, right? They have a statue erected. But the one thing that he did say is, look, good players, all good players want to be coached. Great players demand to be coached. Inconsistent players want to be coached on their terms. This goes for students too. It's the same thing. What kind of a student are you going to be? What kind of student are you? Are you the inconsistent one who wants to only study on their terms and how it works out? And if you are struggling with getting it done, if you are struggling with keeping consistent, you got to look at why? Why? Is it because I keep keeping things on my terms, or am I adapting and I just having to happen? And I was listening to Coach K the other day, and that was the other thing he says. He's like, I've always adopted the no excuse rule. And someone goes, well, there's always something, right? Like, you can't predict everything. There's going to be in a situation where there's an excuse. And he's like, no, there's no excuse. And once you adapt the no excuse rule, then you realize that you're forced to adapt and you have to overcome it. And you realize that just the challenges and the way things come at you is just part of the journey of success. It's just the way it's always going to be. There is no clear path to anything. There's always challenges. There's always going to be room for someone to give an excuse, and there's going to be someone who just overcomes it. So I heard that and I thought that was great, but it's not about what I hear and what I say. Brandy's got a whole thing, and that's just one part. When we say we teach content, guys, we have one part content. We got techniques, but Brandy teaches you and coaches you guys on that mental attitude, that mental part of it. That's so important. And that was one of the things the person addressed in the email. They're like, I know it's my mentality when I sit in front of this exam as to why I'm not getting these connections. It's my mentality. I know it. For whatever reason, we have those issues, right? And we got to overcome them. So, no excuse mentality. And we got those techniques and strategies. Plus, we've got that great content. We got tutoring available one on one. We got small group tutoring. We got books for sale. We got the Kona community where you can connect with people. We got the contact us at 951-290-3077. You can scan the QR code, hit the links, get all of those things on that QR code, or hit the links that Brandy's going to put in the chat in just a minute. But we got those course videos, all that stuff. And guys, I'm just saying, Brandy and I are going to be working on stuff in the background. There's another reason why we're moving a lot of the stuff to the evening, is it frees us up to move to our next thing that we're going to be doing, which is going to be pretty awesome. And it's going to be awesome for all of you and all the people that you refer us to. And thank you to everybody and anyone that refers us to someone else and new, because that's how we keep ourselves alive. That's how we keep the lights on. That's how we survive. We are a word of mouth only I read something on I think Brandy read something in some book. I can't remember what book it was. Do you remember which one it said? Word of mouth is the best one, marketing?
That was actually our daughter.
No, it was something that she read, right? No.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's by the I can't remember his
I
name.
mean, I'm not saying my daughter's not brilliant.
No, it was the Maxwell. Can't remember the guy's name.
Was it Maxwell book?
Not John Maxwell.
No, it was
It's
a
the
different
Blink
one.
guy.
The Blink one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Blink.
Anyways,
Malcolm.
I'll get it to you guys. Anyways, they were talking about one of the best advertisements you could possibly do, especially in this world of AI and fake, descriptions and fake, reviews and ratings and all this stuff. The best is a word of mouth. And when someone says something about you and how you treat other people and how you help them to their goals is the main thing that everybody looks for. And they know it's authentic and they know that it's a real deal. So we appreciate when people do refer us. We do appreciate when we see people on Facebook and Instagram and their offices and everywhere else, and they get it out there. And trust me, we've had some big hitters call us. We've had some people in the big companies call us, and it's all about, wow, you have a really strong review. People are talking about you, and you're highly recommended. So I do appreciate that very much. And it might come from all the people we've got a lot of past notices for. So if you haven't checked out our Kona Hall of Fame, go check it out on the Instagram. All right, you ready for tonight, Tuesday?
Hmm.
Just a quick reminder, Wednesday, we don't have any sessions. We'll be back on Thursday. All right, let's get to test taking techniques Tuesday. Brandy, what do you got for us tonight? 6 questions, techniques, strategies, how to read it, how to go about it. If you want to know what we did in the workshop, well, you should have been there. No. Um, Mainly, guys, the way Brandy's going to do this right now is exactly what we're trying to get people to do when they take their exams, when they take their quizzes. Go about it this way. She looks at answers first because at least you're reading the question with intent. And then you go about those techniques and help you out and get an edge. And just like I said at the workshop, look, guys, it doesn't work 100% of the time, but if we can get it to work 6% of the time, we can get it to work 10% of the time, we can get it to work 2% of the time, it might be the difference between you getting an answer correct and getting a pass notice opposed to not getting it correct and getting a fail notice. So, quite simply, add this to your arsenal, practice it, make it happen.
Let's go. So I have recommendation, discretionary trade, unsolicited trade, not a recommendation. So right away, these two are opposite of each other. And I don't know if you guys know this.
Is discretionary like kind of like the person makes the choices for you?
Yeah. So this is like the agent chooses.
And then unsolicited, I guess, would be the client choosing.
Yeah. So yeah, the recommendation. And that's also unsolicited is the same as not a recommendation. This is the same thing.
Right.
Because if it's unsolicited, that means somebody's not
Ooh,
soliciting
ooh,
you.
ooh. So if they're exactly the same, can we get rid of C and D?
Mm-hmm.
So now we're down to A and B and we haven't even seen the question.
Well, if A and D are opposite and we just crossed off D.
Then we already know it's A. Because 95% of the time you get it down to an opposite, it's going to be one of the two. That means is A, and we're good. Bob's your uncle.
So A and B
Should we
being the
look at the
same.
question?
A and B being the same. I I was thinking they were the same, but then I was actually thinking that it was the same as the other two, the C and the D. But honestly, it's the agent choosing. So
By the way, we in the workshop we use a Series 65, one from a provider named Snaplin. I'm not going to say their full name, but y'all know what it is. That person was getting 80, 90%. That's what they were using. Same, just fall off.
yep.
If you were in that workshop, you know where Brandy was like mad.
All right, I've got salaries and commission, I got gains, I got dividends, I got rent, right? So I got rent, I got dividends, I got gains, and I got salary. Now, at my first choice, I'm like, oh, sweet. And that's probably the answer, right?
Is there another and on the board? Nope.
No,
Remember at the workshop, I was like, ooh, the question has two things and it's definitely and.
correct. You did say that.
Yeah.
But it says not considered
Ooh.
ordinary income, and I don't know about you guys, but it says gains, not income.
So that's not really a technique. That's just basic, like knowing a chain connection thing.
It's not even. This is actually, guys, one of the most overlooked, very simple connections. We don't ever pay attention to the words on the screen. We actually, this is what we used to do on Mondays. Keyword, we used to do the Kona catchphrase, right? On Mondays. But this is like, some people will go, I don't know what that is. And I said, just look at the words.
Gains and income are the same thing.
No, gains, it says not income,
This is where Brandy wants to kill me.
but not income
I'm just kidding.
is gains.
Just seeing if anybody's paying attention.
Not income, gains. Anyways. All right, I got the IRS. I got the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. I got the FBI, and I got the Department of Justice. Now, my first thing was
If you're
that
paying attention to anything recently, you know exactly where all these people are.
really?
The
Oh,
DOJ is in the newspaper all the time. The FBI is. The FinCEN's been in the in there, and it is tax season right now.
that is true. So I was looking at financial crimes and I was looking at the FBI, right? Because they're both crimes.
Yeah.
They're both crimes. So this is what I would call similar. Now you guys might say, well, I don't know.
Well, Internal Revenue Service is not really enforcement unless you're talking about something else that's not having to do with anything we're studying.
And so I'm just gonna look at the question.
I didn't bring it up. I wasn't trying to confuse anybody.
No, I hear you. I, it says financial illegal activity.
1,234 episodes. You get a little loopy.
Oops. Here we go.
Right. I mean, that's their expertise. It just matches up.
Exactly. All right. Okay, I've got. So I was looking at this, right? I was like, okay,
3 unlisted, 1 that doesn't.
right. So I was like, okay, this one is different.
So I guess 1 that's listed and 3 unlisted.
And then I have the three unlisted, but then I also saw that that says $5 per share and that says $5 a share. So that would be similar.
Well, isn't that opposite? Because one's listed and the other one's listed.
Oh yeah, opposite.
Sorry, teacher.
Opposite. And then I looked at the question and it was talking about a penny stock. And to be completely honest, guys, I didn't even look at A.
Well, penny's not $5. Do you know what a penny is, though? Less than $5. There you go. Another one, opposite 95% of the time, and just looking at the words. You know what I know?
What?
Less than $5. That's a penny.
Yep.
You know what they don't do? Make pennies anymore.
No, but penny stock still exists.
They need to change that name to dollar stock.
I was hoping that I could go by the word and,
Sorry, guys. I'm just
but I cannot.
trying not to confuse you.
I was hoping I could go by the word and, but I couldn't because that's an and. That's an and.
So that doesn't work there.
That doesn't work.
Right.
And it says, I was looking at my words. Oh, and that's an and. But this says only. And I'm gonna be real with you guys. I just saw that only.
And you're all, that's not a true statement. So if the question's about not, right?
Right. And actually all I kind of did was it says exchange traded and I saw trade, oops, let me make my box bigger. That it says trades on a national securities exchange. That's really all I saw.
Which is in line with that.
Yeah. Oh wait, here we go. Here we go. This is right. I saw too. I didn't make my notes. There we go. A and C were similar. They started off the same, the value of an ETP, the value of an ETP, but only, we don't like that only.
So that marks that off there.
And then it just matching the exchange.
Because we're looking for a true statement.
Right.
And that lines up right with it.
Exactly. That's what I did. That's what I did today. Okay. I got call risk, financial risk, business risk, reinvestment risk. So I always look at this and I go, okay, there's going to be something about a call.
I would start a drinking game. It'd be like every episode we have risk question.
Yeah, because it's on every test. So I try to. I try.
Oh, everybody likes to drink.
Call risk.
Yeah.
I always look for financial risk, something with money. Business risk, I always look for a business. And then reinvestment risk, I look for invest again because it's reinvestment. So then I look at the question, right? And it says a company.
Well, that's gonna
Now,
be business, right? Right.
right.
That's what we would think.
Right. So I'm just going to look for anything that's to do with money, right? Confident, products appeal, man unknown, unknown, factor sales, future investors. Okay. So it's literally the business.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if it says a company cannot pay,
Then that would be like default.
that would be financial risk. Yeah, default risk. Same thing. Yep. But since we're talking about money, I mean, since we're talking about company, we're talking about a product, boom, done. And that is it.
That is the whole taco. That is the whole burrito. That is the whole thing. Bob's your uncle. Whatever you want to say. That's another one in the books. Studying Brew 1234 done. But you don't have to be done. We want you to go get yourself your own quiz. We want you guys to go start practicing this stuff. It is going to give you the edge. It is going to help you out. Keep that positive mental attitude and make sure that you are not being, following the rules of convenience and you're not following those inconsistencies. Be that person that wants to be, demands to be coached, and definitely is willing to put in what it takes. Because if you do that, it's only for a short time. It's only for a short time. You don't have to make this forever. And we don't want it to be a forever journey for you either. So reach out if you need help. We'll be back on Thursday for the Studying Brew. And if you haven't heard, Studying Brew is changing. New times coming soon.
3 weeks, guys. 3 weeks. Plenty of time.
What time?
Huh? I said in 3 weeks,
What time though?
8 p.m. Pacific.
It'll be 2 hours earlier for everyone. All right, everybody. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your friend's face. That's all I know. Keep the positive mental attitude. May everybody have a great night.
Thank you all so much for being on. We so super appreciate you. Practice techniques in your quizzes. We will see you guys next time. Have a great one.